Hey everybody, Worldwar Guy here today, and today I'm doing a review slash comparison between two different reproduction Vietnam jungle boots. I bought two different pairs, or from two different companies. I've worn them for quite a bit, and so now I can finally do a review and comparison to see which one is better and which one you should probably spend your money on. Now, this one right here is a boot made by Rothco Company. And this one right here is the new SM Wholesale Jungle Boot. They came out with this about, by the time I'm making this video, 3 months, I think? And they're brand new as far as I'm aware. They've never made jungle boots before. And, oh boy, this actually was going to be harder than I was expecting. I was honestly expecting one to completely beat the other one. Let's start with the Rothco boot. So, of course, understand that I've been wearing these boots for months. When I first got them to the last time I've worn them. So they've been through a lot more than the SM Wholesale ones. So we will take that into consideration. And also, in this review, I don't reenact Vietnam War, or at least I haven't yet, but I mainly wear these boots for fashion, for work. I prefer wearing boots at work, for work, and the occasional hike. That's all I use them for. Now, the Rothco boots are, let's start with the pros. Rothco boots are a lot cheaper. Where I got these from, which was a local military store or a surplus store, they were selling these for like $30 to $35 a pair. So that's a really good deal, honestly. Otherwise, they look good. Again, I'm not a Vietnam reenactor, so compared to originals, I don't know. But otherwise, they look good. You know, they don't look bad. Honestly, I couldn't complain. When I got them, you know, they're not too bad. Now, breaking them in the first pair I've got of these, the first day I wore them, they were a little sore, they weren't that comfortable, but the next day, they were completely fine. So breaking them in, they're very easy to break in. They really don't put a lot of wear on your feet. I do consider putting insoles, because otherwise the inside of the boot is pretty rough and uncomfortable. So definitely add insoles to these. Now we go into the cons. The first thing was the shoelaces. I had to buy new shoelaces because the first pair that I had, the shoelaces, every time I tied them up, started to wear out very quickly. Again, I wore these to work like every day, so do understand that. But they wore out very quickly and ended up breaking on me. So I had to buy new shoelaces, and these shoelaces actually work really well. So in terms of reproduction shoelaces, they're trash. They were god-awful. Now we can look at the soles. So the soles, again, I wear them at work. I work at a grocery store, so I'm not working, you know, on rocks. I'm not walking on rocks, concrete, gravel, sand, things like that all the time. And they wore out very quickly. Again, I've worn these for less than a year, and they're basically flat on one side. I don't know how well you can see that. Which is kind of annoying. I mean, it doesn't affect it too much, but it's kind of like, that's kind of disappointing how quickly it wears out. And now the leather portion of it. This leather is also trash. Now, yes, you are supposed to take care of leather. You're supposed to treat it and so on like that. But even then, even if you don't treat your leather boots, they should still hold up when you're working in a grocery store, going out, you know, out to town or whatever, or the occasional hike. And very, you know, simple hiking, not hardcore up in the mountain type hiking. And hopefully you can see that. Try to bring it a little closer. There's cracking basically everywhere on the boot, especially wherever your foot bends. There's cracking on both sides. The toe is cracked. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's that white stuff. I don't know, that's like the fabric under the leather, basically coming undone. And then on the back, the glue, the adhesive used isn't very well. This particular boot isn't too bad, but some of my other ones, it's basically separating pretty quickly. That's awful. I mean, it's a, you know, combat boot. I know it's reproduction, but it should be holding up a lot better than this. And then you have the canvas. Now, this boot in particular. My other pair didn't have this problem as much, but this is not from a branch that I got stuck on. This is not from falling off a tree or anything like that. This is from the occasional, when you walk, the occasional scuffing of the boots. Yeah, that's terrible. I was wearing this at work, and I realized, man, that's very embarrassing. Hopefully customers don't see that. So otherwise, I mean, if you want to buy a pair of boots every, I don't know, 6 months to 12 months, they are cheap, which is a good thing. But at the same time, you're going to have so many of these boots that are still functional, but they just look like crap. And honestly, if I keep wearing these the way I did, I wouldn't be surprised if they just randomly fell off or, you know, fell apart on me. So realistically, they're not great. Yes, they're comfortable. I did love wearing these. They're comfortable. They break in very easily and they're cheap. That's great. But otherwise, durability, no. Again, you get what you pay for. Now we can look at SM Wholesale. Now, if any of you know, SM Wholesale makes a lot of different boots. They make American boots, World War II, World War II German boots. They've made British ammo boots, and they've even made some World War I U.S. boots. They're very well known for their boots. A lot of people in the reenacting community really like their boots, including me. I own a pair of Rough Outs and a pair of double buckle boots from them, and they're great. The Rough Outs I've had since what? December of 2015, December of 2016, somewhere around there, and they're still in great shape, and I do not constantly take care of them. But now let's look at the Jungle Boot. Now, I got this on sale when they first came out for $160, I think, and their full price is like around $200. So I got it for $40 off, which is good. Now, it's more expensive than the Rothco by a long shot, but with my experience with SM Wholesales, their products are very good and very well worth the money. Now, when I got them, they looked great. Honestly, didn't have anything to complain about until I put them on. And oh boy, these boots were incredibly uncomfortable. They were so difficult to break in. I wore them to work the first day I put them on, and by the end of it, my feet were dying, quite literally. And again, I work at a grocery store. You walk on flat floors the entire time. You're not putting a lot of strain on your feet. My feet were killing me. A couple of days later, around the weekend, when I was working around the house, I decided I'm going to get them soaked, soaking wet, walk around them, because I've heard that helps to break them in. It helped for a bit, but even after that, it was difficult. Honestly, it wasn't about a good 7 days of actually wearing them, at least, to properly break them in. I don't know why. I've tried, kind of beating them up, kind of folding them around to make them more comfortable, and it just took forever to break them in. But once they were broken in, these are actually very comfortable boots. I honestly cannot complain. Shining, of course I shine them. I need to shine them a bit, put more shoe polish, but that's just, typical wear, dust and everything that gets on it. Shoelaces so far, can't complain. Again, I've been wearing this, probably should say, I've been wearing these for about 2 months, I think, give or take. So, and I haven't gone hiking with them, so of course take this into consideration. But otherwise, they look good. Yeah, you got like the wear on the fold here, and they look wrinkly, but that's not a problem because I'd rather have that than it cracking. The canvas is very durable. Even just touching it, you can tell that this is much more durable canvas, and it's not going to start fraying and ripping on me from the occasional boot scuffing. Shoelaces are fine. Again, I've been only wearing them for about 2 months, and there's no problem with them, so can't complain. And the soles, I've walked around in the city with them, concrete, stuff like that, and they barely even looked used, honestly. I mean, they looked used at some of the not pressure points, but the more heavily worn points. But even then, you can't really tell, if I hold it up this way, wearing them basically every time I go out. But now we actually have some cons, and they're more annoying and frustrating than I would like, considering they come from SM Wholesale. One of the first things I noticed is the eyelets. And Rothco actually did a good job on these. The eyelets here look like they're about to come off. One of them did come off, and I had to kind of pry it back in the hole for it to fit, and so far it's been staying in. But the eyelets just do not look like they stay on. I can literally get a fingernail under here, and I swear I probably could pull them out. But besides the one that came out, they all stay in, so that's something to consider. But coming from SM Wholesale, I'm really disappointed. And also, Rothco did a better job with the eyelets actually staying in. Another thing is there are some points on the sole where it does come undone. You can see the glue came off. Of course, the other boot that has more of it. that's not too much of a problem. I'm not worried about it. If any case, I can always put a bit of glue in there and kind of just put it back. But just know some of the places where your foot's bending a lot, it does come undone a little bit. But that's probably, I don't know, you can fix it easily, but it is kind of frustrating that the adhesive just did not hold very long in these spots. And now for my biggest complaint, and I might even post a separate video so you can hear it. These boots squeak. If you guys have ever seen the SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob is wearing those nice big boots or whatever, and they squeak nonstop, these boots are very similar to that extent. They squeak like no other. Both of them do. Both boots squeak uncontrollably. I don't know what it is. I think it's something to do with the adhesive from the sole to the boot. It's just, there's too much room, so every time I walk, they kind of just squeak together. I'm not sure, but it's super frustrating. And, you know, if I'm walking somewhere with friends or something, and it's quiet, you just hear it squeak, 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 squeak. It's very frustrating. And, of course, I'm always hearing it, because every time I walk, I hear it. And considering that I paid $150, $160 for it, and they normally retail for $200, what the fuck, you know? Why do they squeak this bad? These Rothco boots did not squeak, and they're only like $35. They're cheap boots. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's their first run at Jungle Boots and they just, you know, they gotta work out the kinks or something, but the squeaking really gets annoying when you're wearing them every day. So all in all, now if I had to choose one, all in all, I still think it's a little too early to decide because I haven't worn these as long as Rothco boots. If I had worn these, let's say I wear these for a full year and they're still in roughly the same condition, then I will say the SM Wholesale boots, because they actually last a long time. You can wear them every day, all day, and they'll hold up. Rothco boots, they're cheap, they are easy to break in, and that's really where it ends. Oh, and they don't squeak, but that's really where it ends. They break apart really easily. The shoelaces are trash. The leather's trash. The canvas con is trash. I really don't recommend it. SM Wholesale boots are a lot more expensive, but so far it appears the quality in terms of construction and durability is very good, minus the eyelets. And then the two biggest complaints I have is the squeakiness and how long it took for me to break in. That was an awful 7-ish days of just pain. So I'm really going to leave it up to you guys to decide, because I don't have a definitive answer at the moment, just because I haven't worn these for about a year, as well as the squeaking's annoying. So there's still a lot to do. But I thought you guys might be interested in this, especially those who reenact Vietnam or the Vietnam War. That might be interesting to finding new boots. So that being said, I'll leave you guys up to the decision of which one's worth the money, which one's better. But that being said, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, write a comment, share, and subscribe. But besides that, you guys have a great day.